Moving over terrain and flying. When it comes to moving, there's stuff in the way all the time. There's stuff everywhere. So here are the simple rules for moving through this stuff. If the thing that is in the way is 2 inches tall or less, you do not have to measure the up and down distance that the model travels. You just have to measure across. It can move freely over anything that is 2 inches tall or less. If we look here, we have this wall is less than 2 inches. This pipe is less than 2 inches. Oh, the crates are more than 2 inches. This is more than 2 inches. This is. These rocks are less than 2 inches. So that is the first rule. You can move over anything freely that is 2 inches or less. Now, the next rule is when you finish your move, your model has to be able to fit entirely on top of the thing you are on. If any portion of the model is hanging over the edge, like up here, you cannot make that move. And as we see when we go through these moves, you'll see when and how that applies. So anything that's higher than 2 inches, you can climb up. You can climb up, but you have to measure the up and down distance as part of your movement. So let's begin looking at some moves here. Let's look at this impulsor. This impulsor wants to move over here. It has a 12-inch movement. So if I look, 12 inches is way more than enough to clear this and set down. So that is a totally legit move. Now if we look over here, these guys on this pipe, this is where it can start to get tricky. You see that half of the guys are on this side and the other half are over here. This structure is 3 inches tall. They are currently standing 1 inch away from the structure. So 3 inches up and 1 inch away, that gives this, that's 4 inches of their movement. And then if I come up here, 2 more inches puts us right here. So for this unit to move, it can go over and up and over to there. We have just used our 6-inch movement. Now these guys back here are able to move over. They are 3 inches away from the wall. Now if they move, they're 3 inches. Well, the last 3 inches is not enough to get them up and on this platform. So that is a totally legit move. That's how you would do that. You'd have to leave some of them down here and some up here. Now, the way to get around that is by simply advancing the unit. If you have to get up there and you need the whole unit to get up there, we're going to try to advance this unit. We roll a die, 3. Now we have 9 inches. So 1 inch over, 3 up, that's 4. That leaves us with 5 extra inches. These guys can come all the way up and over here. And the last guys, they're 3 inches away, so 3 inches over, 3 inches up. That leaves them 3 inches more of movement on their 9. They can now go up and over to here. So by advancing, I am able to get the whole unit up on top of it and everybody's base is on top. And that fits. If you cannot fit the model, do not try. Stop it. Quit trying to squeeze stuff where stuff can't go. Just accept that the area needed is what it's needed. If we look over here at these leapers, they have an 8-inch movement. It is 3 inches up on top of this. And that Von Ryan leaper is 3 inches away from this. That's 6 inches. That gives them 2 more inches. Now, if they want, that's going to be risky. It's not going to get the whole unit up there. This guy's only going to be able to go to there. These guys will have to fit down there. And since they can't fit down there, you won't be able to make a move like that. So this unit will have to try to advance. Now, if I roll a die, booyah, we got a 5. So 8 plus 5, that's 13 inches. Now we're 3 inches away, 3 inches up. That's 6 inches. Now we have 7 whole inches left. We can pretty much take this whole unit now and bring it right up here. That is plenty within its movement. Does not count going up and over that. Does count going up the 3 inches and over. Boom, boom, boom. And there is plenty. These back guys are 4.5 inches away from the barricade from here. 3 inches up, that's 7.5. So with the 13, that gives them plenty of room to get over and up here. Advancing is how you get things up and over and on. Let us take a look at here. We got this lieutenant with combi weapon. So he wants to get up here. He has a movement of 6 inches. This is 5 inches tall. He is 1 inch away. So that's his full 6 inches just to get him up to the edge. He's not going to be able to get on it. So he will need to advance. Oh, he got 2, just what he needed. So that's enough to get him 1 inch over, 5 inches up, and 2 more makes 7. Boo, boo, boo. 5, 6, and 1 more makes 7. So 1 more. Look, he's not enough. His base is hanging over. If I go over, up, and over 1 inch, he's not enough. If this was a 3, he would have enough to get up and on there. And now his whole base is on there. Do not, like he dropped short. He couldn't make it. So if he can't make it, he can't make it. And he must go back down to the bottom. Let's look at this Von Ryan Leaper. He's got an 8-inch movement. Well, he is sitting 3 inches away from the containers. But this container here is 5 inches tall. So that is 8 inches. That's his whole movement. But if he advances 3, he can get 3 more inches. So his full movement gets him right to here. Add 3 more inches onto that, and he is up and on it. That's how you do it. He does not count this barricade. He does count the up and down. Oh, tower fall. Now, this works different for flying units. Well, before we go to flying units, can this big guy get up on top of this? Well, he is 3 inches away. This is 3 inches tall, and he has an 8-inch movement. So that is 6 inches of his movement. 2 more inches is not enough to get his base on there. He would have to advance. If he advances, hey, he got a 6. 6 on 8, that's 14. So that gives him 8 more inches to get on top. This is a sealed structure, just like containers and any sealed structure and rocks. If the model can fit its full base on it, it can get on it. So yes, he can climb up there with an advance. Rawr. And now he can shoot stuff down there with his tongue. This works different for flying. Now we got a winged Tyranid Prime over here. He is going to give us our demo on flying. Say he wants to get up on here. You have to measure, normally you would measure over and then up and over and up and over because it's more than 2 inches. But because he is flying, I look at the edge, that is the angle edge. Then I measure down to him. He is 6 inches away from the top edge of this. So you measure angularly from the model up to where you're going. And then if I add 2 more inches onto that, that puts him just on the other side of that. That is enough for him to get up there, and his whole base is on the model, on the surface. So he can make that move. Now, if he is down here, and let's say he advances, he's 6 inches away. Boom, he advances 4 more inches. Now we already know that his 8-inch move gets him to there. If we add 4 inches, now we measure angularly down to here. If we measure from his base, angularly down, comes out to here. But if we move the model down there, we can see his base is hanging over. So he cannot make that move. Now, if he had rolled a 5 instead of a 4, that would give him an extra inch, and he would then be able to make that move. If your model cannot fit on top of the thing, its base hangs over at all, you cannot make that move. I don't know how many times I see people trying to fit too many people onto a little tiny space just so they can be there. You can't do it. If any part is hanging over, you need to get rid of some models and back them down. That is how the game is designed to do moving over and through and up terrain. You can move up anything that is 5 inches tall, and you can go 5 inches up and then up to the next level 5 inches. And as long as your base can finish its move on top of that structure without hanging over, you can do that move. And that is moving through terrain, over terrain, and flying.